The Outfoxies, a 2D arena-style platform fighter that is often considered a precursor to the platform fighter genre. It features two assassins battling in dynamic, destructible environments with a variety of weapons, trying to lower each other's HP until the other one is killed. The game's fast-paced cinematic action and focus on stage interaction were ahead of their time. Because of it releasing earlier than the original Super Smash Bros., it is considered by some as the first platform fighter, as a lot of its mechanics became staple of the genre. Dream Mix TV World Fighters, a crossover platform fighter released only in Japan for the PlayStation 2 and Nintendo GameCube. The game features a various cast of characters from the toy company Takara and video game companies Hudson Soft and Konami. This results in a unique roster that includes characters like Optimus Prime from Transformers, Bomberman, and Simon Belmont from Castlevania. The gameplay is a 4-player brawler that shares similarities with the Super Smash Bros. Series coin battles, where you win by getting the most coins and you get coins by hitting your opponent and getting their coins. This is also the first platform fighter to feature Solid Snake as a playable character since this game came out before Brawl. Neon Genesis Evangelion Battle Orchestra, a platform fighter based on the popular anime series that features up to 4 players fighting each other. Players control Evangelion units and angels in 2D battles on stages, with various hazards trying to lower each other's HP. The game also includes a story mode for each pilot, with fully voiced scenes. It, however, was only released in Japan for the PS2 and PSP. Indie Pogo, an indie crossover fighter that features characters from over 50 different indie titles. Its core gameplay is unique, built around an auto-jump mechanic where characters are constantly bouncing like a pogo stick. Gameplay is similar to Smash Bros. Stamina mode, while also having the ability to fling enemies off the map. Despite being a crossover fighter with a similar concept to Framemakers, it was developed by a different studio, Low Brothers Studios. Full Metal Alchemist Dream Carnival, a Japan-only PlayStation 2 platform fighter game based on the Full Metal Alchemist anime. Up to 4 players can fight in arenas using character-specific attacks and the series' signature alchemy to alter the stage or create weapons. The goal is to deplete the opponent's HP. It features a story mode and unlockable characters from the anime. Cartoon Network Punch Time Explosion, a crossover platform fighter featuring characters from various Cartoon Network shows like Ben 10, The Powerpuff Girls, and Dexter's Laboratory. The gameplay is heavily modeled after Super Smash Bros., where players damage opponents to knock them off the screen. It was first released on the Nintendo 3DS and later ported to consoles as an XL version with more characters and stages. Sonic Battle, a platform fighter game for the Game Boy Advance set in an isometric 2.5D perspective. Up to 4 players fight in arenas, focusing on a deep customization system where players can program their fighters' attack patterns. Instead of knocking opponents off a stage, the goal is to lower their HP to score KOs. Some people might consider this more as a arena fighter, but IGN compared it to Smash Bros. So yeah, it's on the list. Jump Super / Ultimate Stars, a crossover platform fighter series of games for the Nintendo DS that were only released in Japan. The games feature a massive roster of characters from the weekly Shonen Jump manga magazine, such as Goku from Dragon Ball, Naruto from Naruto, Yami Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh!, and even more obscure characters like iShield 21 and Midori no Makibao. Its unique mechanic involves creating a Koma deck on the DS's touchscreen using manga panels to select playable fighters, support characters, and passive abilities. The first game, Jump Superstars, features 27 different manga series in its roster, while the sequel, Jump Ultimate Stars, ups it up to 41 different manga series. Onimusha Blade Warriors, a spin-off of the Onimusha series for the PlayStation 2. It's a 4-player platform fighter game that pits characters from the franchise against each other in a brawler format. Gameplay involves defeating enemies to absorb their souls, which are then used to power up special attacks. The objective is to deplete the health bars of the opponents. Super Smash Land, a fan-made remake of Super Smash Bros., created to look and sound like a game for the original Nintendo Game Boy. Despite its retro-pixelated aesthetic and simplified controls, it faithfully recreates the core mechanics of the Smash Bros. Series. It was developed by Dan Furness, who would later create the popular indie platform fighter Rivals of Aether. Digimon Battle Spirit Series, a series of platform fighter games for the Game Boy Advance and WonderSwan. Instead of knocking opponents out, the goal is to collect the most D-spirits, which are dropped when a character is hit. Players can digivolve into a more powerful form temporarily after building up a meter. The fights are timed, and the player with the most spirits at the end wins. Beautiful Joe Red Hot Rumble, a 4-player brawler set in the Beautiful Joe universe, released on the GameCube and PSP. The game is structured like a game show, where players compete in missions on dynamic stages. Victory is determined by completing objectives and collecting the most points rather than simply defeating opponents. It incorporates the series' signature VFX powers like slow and Mach speed. Tales of Versus, a crossover platform fighter for the PSP featuring characters from the Tales of RPG series, released only in Japan. Up to 4 players can battle in teams. The gameplay is a hybrid, mixing the 3D, free-roaming combat of the Tales series with the arena-based fighting of a platform fighter. Guilty Gear Dust Strikers, a spin-off of the Guilty Gear fighting game series for the Nintendo DS. It allows up to 4 players to fight at once on stages that span both screens of the DS. Players can jump between the top and bottom levels of the arena. The game also included story modes and several touchscreen-based minigames. One Piece Grand Battle Series, a series of 3D platform fighters based on the popular anime. Pitting up players against each other, the gameplay focuses on depleting opponents' HP bars in dynamic, interactive arenas filled with items and obstacles. The series began in 2001 on the PlayStation in Japan, with several early sequels remaining exclusive to the region. It first saw an international release, with the 4th installment in 2005 for the GameCube and PlayStation 2. The series over time evolved into a 3D arena brawler more than the classic platform fighter. The series continued with later entries like Super Grand Battle X for the Nintendo 3DS, maintaining its core platform fighter gameplay. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Smash Up, a platform fighter for the Wii and PlayStation 2 published by Ubisoft. The game's development was handled by Game Arts, a studio that had previously assisted with the development of Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and its gameplay is very similar. Players win by taking down each other's HP. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to Games in Minutes. Check out our other video here about every roguelikes.